A lot of Persona fans usually clamor for a Persona that features older students. Well, this one isn't exactly Persona, but it's inspired by it and other games in the Shin Megami Tensei series, and it features college-age students. Its influences aside, I'd say it's an enjoyable experience by itself. It's got a lot of personality and a fairly unique battle system that's unlike the typical tactical RPG. Is this game for you? Well, let's get into the review. The game starts with Faye on a boat heading to Hemsk Island, where she will start her totally normal, peaceful college life, right? Obviously not. As soon as she enters the island, she experiences weird things one after the other with her newfound friend Namako. Gangsters, a strange professor, demons, and a prophecy about the end of the world. The story follows Faye and her ever-growing circle of friends as they investigate the island, cultivate their bonds, and prevent the end of the world. The story seems a little cliche and honestly a little confusing sometimes. A ragtag bunch of youngsters out to save the world and all that. But at the same time, that's exactly what a lot of mainline SMTs kind of feel like when you start out. At the start, you're living a normal student life. Then the game hints at the existence of freaky supernatural phenomena. Then boom, demons appear and the world is in peril. You're thrust straight into what it feels like to experience an apocalyptic event firsthand. You're confused, and you have very little information other than the proverbial shit has hit the fan. Demonschool captures that feeling. While you do get to put the pieces together as you continue the main story, and finding said pieces are what keeps you moving forward, more context at the start of the game would have helped the player get into its world a little bit more, as well as help them not feel as confused. While it does have an SMT-like premise, its vibe and tone are a little more on the Persona side, as we're treated to a colorful cast of characters full of personality and humor. Starting with our lovely protagonist, Faye. Faye is, well, just the right kind of crazy you'd want a protagonist about a demon school to have. She's extroverted, enthusiastic, fiery, and comically impulsive. As the protagonist, her impulsivity and enthusiasm push the plot forward, and are usually what get our party into crazy situations. After Faye, we're introduced to her perfect foil, Namako. Namako is more introverted, calm, and a bit of a worrywart. She acts as the voice of reason in contrast to Faye's charge-in, head-on attitude. The other two early party members we have are Destin, who is basically Mr. Lovable Muscle Himbo, and Newt, or Nute, the lost media nerd who serves as the pacifist healer. I do wish we got a little more character development, as I feel like there's not a lot of change in the characters through the many weeks of the story. It's a shame because the characters do have great chemistry with each other, which contributes to the fun, quirky atmosphere of the game despite the presence of demons and the threat of the world ending. And that's just with the first 4 party members. There are 15 party members in all with unique personalities and roles within the party and its dynamics. The main party isn't the only one that's full of personality too. The people of Hemsk Island are also pretty colorful. Honestly, I make sure I read all the bits of new dialogue that pop up because even the NPCs have interesting things to say. It's not always related to the main story, but they add character and charm to the town. Like flavor text, but instead of it being on a trading card, it's NPC dialogue. There are also a dozen or so endings to discover, so it adds on to the replayability of the story for those who want to squeeze out every bit of value from this game. The gameplay is probably its strong suit. Unlike the usual tactical RPGs like, well, Final Fantasy Tactics, which we reviewed a while back, the battles are split into 3 phases: planning phase, action phase, and your opponent's turn. During the planning phase, you work out your offensive approach. You get a limited amount of action points during this phase to move around and attack opponents, so you have to plan carefully. Thankfully, you can backtrack on your actions as long as you haven't moved on to the action phase yet. Trust me, you'll be using this a lot because some of the fights can be pretty challenging. When you're ready, just press that button and watch as the characters carry out your carefully planned actions in real time. You're given a set amount of monsters to defeat, and once you've defeated them, you need to head to the end of the map and seal them, thus ending the battle. The game ranks your fight depending on how fast you defeat your quota of demons and how many of your characters are still alive after the end of each fight. This gives it some challenge and replayability, especially if you want to ace all your fights. We mentioned that there are 15 party members with unique personalities. Well, they all have unique gameplay as well. Some characters can do damage, some can do damage and push enemies back a square upon attacking. Some characters can't attack but can heal. Some characters can relocate enemies as they move move around, etc. This gives you a wide variety of team compositions and even more varied strats for each of those team compositions. You also need to be very aware of your character's placement and movement on the map. One of the things that you're rewarded with if your character placement is good is a combo attack. If you sandwich an enemy between two of your characters and attack, it triggers a combo attack that can deal more damage. Filling this gauge can also give you access to a character's special attack. Again, this special attack is unique to each character, with each having its own element, attack range, and effects. The boss fights each have their own little gimmick as well, which keeps them fresh. There are a lot of things to consider on the battlefield, so it provides a very engaging experience. Outside of battles, the game gives you a chance to unwind a little bit, from mini games to hanging out with friends, side quests to collecting items and learning skills. There are quite a few mini games you could do, like karaoke or cooking, but my favorite has to be fishing. I just love RPGs with decent enough fishing mechanics. Demonschool's is pretty simple, but what really makes Demonschool's fishing good is the designs of the demon fish. Some are really wacky and out there, and some actually look kinda threatening. We wouldn't call it Persona inspired if we don't have bond events with your party mates. Hanging out and doing character specific side quests will increase the bond gauge with that specific character. Each level you get, you unlock a bond event where you learn more about said character, and like Persona, you have the choice to take that friendship to something more romantic. Again, we said the characters are pretty interesting, so we love learning more about our colorful party members. But also again, a little bit more could have been done in the character development aspect. There's also a healthy amount of side quests in this game. Some of them are pretty quirky, like looking for a sandwich that a demon stole or investigating demonic spam emails. These side quests would usually reward you with either a skill or currency. The skills you receive aren't immediately usable as they have to be learned first. When you try to learn a skill, you'll need 2 party members and some in-game currency to study that skill. The 2 members you choose will then go into a cooldown for a period of time before they can learn another skill. For a good portion of the early game, you only have a few party members. This makes it important that you carefully choose which skill you want to learn because you'll have your 4 party members out of commission for skill learning for a length of time, making skill learning real slow early on. However, you do speed it up once you get more party members, as you'll have more available people to study skills even though other people are on cooldown. Another very eye-catching charm point of the game is its unique style. It's an art style that calls back to a retro vibe. If I were to go back to the Persona comparison, it reminded me of the older Persona games. Specifically, it's giving me a more vibrant colored Persona 2 kind of vibe. It was also obviously inspired by old school manga artists like Suehiro Maruo or Go Nagai. Character designs are pretty on point too, with the designs really fitting the characters. Most obvious is Faye's fiery red and Namako's cool blues to match their personalities. Early on, we said each boss has an interesting gimmick and they have eye-catching designs to match as well. The OST is great and is fitting for a game about demons, friendship, and fishing. From the more easygoing music about town, choir-like tunes of the battle theme, and the light-hearted minigame music, the soundtrack encompasses all the weird little tones this game wants to create. The sound effects are also quality and fit the retro vibe they're trying to go for. There is sadly no voice acting, but it doesn't sour the experience at all, although it would have elevated it to further heights, especially with how full of quirk the dialogue is. Demonschool is a little tactical RPG that's full of personality, and it's sure to be a hit among a subset of gamers who will appreciate its unique blend of styles. There's a lot to love from its engaging tactical gameplay, retro art style, lovable characters, and its affordable price of 25 USD. It also provides a lot of replayability in both gameplay and story with its multiple endings. However, the story feels very chaotic at the start. Characters are either static or very slow to grow, and the whole end-of-the-world situation doesn't really feel like it's being given the proper weight and gravitas that it should be given. All that being said, we are giving Demonschool an 86. Those were our thoughts on Demonschool. Are you planning on getting this game? What about the game stood out to you the most? Tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out our channel for more video game reviews and video game related content. This has been Game8, and we'll see you in the next one.